This is WoW Uncensored, the World of Warcraft show where we talk about whatever the fuck we want. With your hosts, Valentine, Bubba Caleb,
yeah, I like it,
and DTD. So I got that going for me, which is nice.
Fucking nailed it!
Good evening, Funky Town. Welcome to another episode of WoW Uncensored, the World of Warcraft show for adults, where we talk about whatever the fuck we want. Or nothing, whichever comes first. Today's date is January 19th, 2015. I'm your host, DTD, main warrior tank of the guild Nailed It, on Rexar/Misa US. Misa doing nothing. Yeah. With me, as always, the GM of the guild Nailed It, the sexiest mage on the planet, the herder of sick little kids, is Valentine. Hi.
Hi.
No Bubba tonight, because apparently he has back herpes. So he can't make it. Unfortunately. So it's a duo show tonight. We try to get some other people to do it, but they're like, no, we don't want a part of your faggotry. So... they decline.
Like, it's one thing to listen to you guys, but to actually be associated live on air with you guys.
How about no?
That's just not gonna happen.
How about no? So, yeah, it's just gonna be a duo show. There's shit to talk about though. They release patch notes and shit. Well,
there's a lot of shit to talk about.
They data mine patch notes and shit, we'll say that.
There's a bunch of cool stuff.
There is a bunch of cool stuff.
And some stuff that needed to happen.
Yeah,
I'm still not fond of it, but considering the amount of time I've spent trying to acquire said things, but you'll know what I'm talking about when we get to it.
Yeah. All right. So we actually have things today, like things. What do we want to start off with? Let's.
We have an email, don't we?
We do. Let's do that, because it's a fucking rare thing anymore. So, yeah, let's do it.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu! Fuck! You know, I was initially sad that we lost the Hollow Note Sounders, but that one's fine. Like, that's a good replacement, I think.
That's pretty legit. Nothing to do with getting mail, but still.
It could be. We know there's an email. We don't know what it's about. It almost works, right?
Reaching a bit, but yeah, take it.
Okay. This email comes in from Trick. He says, "What's up, trisexuals? This is a follow-up email to my previous one about Khadgar and him not being the real Khadgar. I am still standing by my pre-Warlords theory that Khadgar is indeed someone else. The reasons are as follows. He turns into a raven at the end of the opening quest line. Only person to ever turn into a raven is Medivh. He is wielding Atiesh, Medivh's staff, previously held by Madan, who is Medivh's son. The quest text in the legendary quest line is off. He talks about Gul'dan as he knows him and has a history with him. Gul'dan was dead in our timeline prior to Khadgar even going to Karazhan to apprentice to Medivh. He is way younger in appearance than he is supposed to be from the curse put on him. No one seems to notice the change or mention anything in game NPC talk. And the Karazhan revamp data mined. Why would Karazhan play into Warlord's story? I know lore isn't something you generally discuss. We actually discuss it way more than you think we do. But this whole thing with him is weird to me. Thanks, Trick."
Honestly, I don't know a lot of lore that has to do with, like, I remember I had you explain to me when I didn't have internet and I'd call you
and I would read you like bedtime stories about WoW lore.
Yeah. I was like, so tell me about Madan.
Once upon a time in a land far,
Tell me
far
about
away.
Medivh.
That's
Tell me a
legit.
story.
That's legit. That
That's
really
what
did
happened.
happen. Val was having such a withdrawal syndrome. He would have me recite lore to him over the phone.
Like, I forgot. Who is this? And you're like, oh, well, this is so and so. I'm like, tell me a story.
Legit to happen.
So, I'm not extremely versed on that part of the story, even though it's odd because I love Karazhan and everything that has to do with it. But the more I think about that last email that you sent and this one, like I honestly didn't even two and two together, but it makes a lot of sense and it is off.
Well, it is off mostly for the reasons he said. Okay, let's go point by point from the email. Okay, he turns into the Raven at the end of the opening quest line. That's true, but I mean, we don't know if anybody else is an Animorph or whatever that fucking thing is from Harry Potter.
We just know of.
We just know that Medan can do it.
That's done it.
We
Right.
do. He is the only, besides a druid, he's like the only confirmed instance of being able to shapeshift. Perhaps Khadgar, since he was an apprentice of Medivh, maybe that's the only thing as far as shapeshifting he learned. Perhaps it's a limitation of a wizard that they can only turn into ravens. I mean, because if you think about it, druids can only turn into bears, boomkins, cats, stags, actually, turn a lot of shit now that I think of it. But,
Beetles, yeah, I don't know where you're going with this one because they could turn into just about anything.
yeah, but he doesn't have any
Penis.
druidic magic unless he somehow inherited the Guardian of Tirisfal powers, and perhaps that gave him some sort of druidic power. I don't think it does, though. Perhaps the new council does because it includes a druid, but I don't think the old one did. So that's an interesting point. As far as wielding Atiesh, why couldn't a Medan just let him borrow it?
Yeah, there's a lot of like this could have been like everything falls into play coincidentally, you know, like well it could be coincidence that he has all this stuff. Medan gave him the staff. Medivh taught him how to do this, you know. Regardless of if it is Medivh or Medan or Khadgar, obviously he's learned quite a bit anyway.
Yeah, I mean he's
So,
in the Tirisfal.
Theoretically, he could have, you know, all this stuff could have been within his reach for possession, or he could have, you know, learned how to do it. But on the other hand, what benefits would Medivh or Medan? Who's he saying that he thinks it is, Medivh?
I think he's leaning toward Medivh.
Okay, what benefits would Medivh have to disguise himself as Khadgar?
Perhaps to get back into our Azeroth? Well, because you have to assume that Medivh is still possessed by Sargeras. Let's assume,
Right.
okay, let's assume a couple things. Let's assume that if it is Medivh, that it's the alternate Medivh, because our current Medivh is dead and has been for a very long time. So it's not him.
Okay, so alternate Medivh would be
Alternate Medivh would be
possessed by
alive.
Sargeras?
He would still be possessed by Sargeras, because I don't believe that had anything to do with the Burning Legion hitting Draenor. That was kind of an
Right.
Well, okay. So what happened? We'll go way back in the lore. The reason Medivh is possessed by Sargeras is when Aegwynn, who's Medivh's mom and was the Guardian of Tirisfal, was battling the avatar of Sargeras. When she defeated him, some of her essence went into, or some of his essence went into her when she was pregnant. And that's why Medivh's all possessed and shit.
Right.
So that still would have happened because it had nothing to do with the orcs. That was a completely...
Which is why he's opening the portal in the first.
Exactly, because the Burning Legion has that connection with Azeroth through Medivh. So that's why he opened the portal on our side.
Okay, so let's flip it and say, why would essentially, I'm gonna call Khadgar Medivh now.
Okay.
Why would Medivh pull us back through the Dark Portal to go against the Iron Horde, unless to take out the Iron Horde in order to reign over alternate Azeroth himself?
Well, here's a theory. Perhaps the Burning Legion in this alternate timeline, without having that ground army of orcs, they don't feel they're powerful enough now to go take over Azeroth. Now the Iron Horde is in their way. So how would you defeat that army if you don't have the troops yourself to do it? Which seems weird because it kind of seems like the Burning Legion has that massive amount of ground troops. But they don't have a way to transport them all to Draenor, which is why they needed the portals open. So they have to find a way to defeat the Iron Horde somehow. There's already somebody fighting the Iron Horde, which is us. So if they could infiltrate somebody into a leadership position in our armies, then they could potentially have us defeat the Iron Horde, and then the Burning Legion just kind of sweeps in through the portal and takes Azeroth.
So the enemy of my enemy is my ally.
Basically, yeah, same concept. So that's incentive enough, but you would think, see, with Sargeras being a Titan, is he aware of this alternate timeline? Does he know what happens in that alternate timeline? Or, because we know from the Garrosh short story, when Garrosh approached Grom and all that, and they went and saw the elements, and Grom was basically shown what our Azeroth, like the history of our Azeroth, up to a point. I wonder if the Titans have that same kind of omniscience, I guess is the word, where they can kind of see alternate timelines, kind of like Nozdormu does. Since Nozdormu was granted that power by a Titan, you can safely assume that they might, with some limited ability, have the same power. It's possible. So perhaps,
I would assume if Garrosh can do it for his dad and the rest of the Iron Horde, I would assume that Sargeras would have the utilities to do the same.
Yeah, well, see, and the only reason that Grom got to see it all is because they basically got it from Garrosh. Like, they pulled Garrosh's memories. So that's how he got to see all that stuff. The Burning Legion would have to have access to somebody who lived our Azeroth's history and knows it in order to do that. Which, there's so many of us through the portal now, I don't think it would be that hard to do. So, let's just assume for the sake of argument, Sargeras knows. Just assume that.
Right.
He's a god. He probably does know that.
Even if he doesn't, Medan's never been introduced in the game, right?
Medan has never been introduced in the game. In fact, I don't think he's even been brought up since the last. I have that graphic novel here too. When he.
I would even go as far as to say that this could be a way to introduce Medan.
I hope so. Medan's one of those characters that really, really needs to be in the game. Isn't
he the best of both worlds?
Okay.
So
Medan's story.
He
is the son of Medivh and Garona, because they shagged in Kara. So he's quarter orc, quarter Draenei, half human, which means he has an innate shamanistic, paladin, and arcane magics at his disposal. Basically, the only thing he can't do is be a druid, but he's got everything else covered.
He's unstoppable.
He is... how do I explain it? He's
basically... Have you ever seen Heroes?
Yeah. Well, a couple episodes.
Okay. You know the main bad guy, Sylar, I think is his name, where he basically finds all of the superheroes and gets in their brains and takes all their powers, basically.
Yeah.
Essentially, this is Medan. Not that he takes everybody's powers, but that he has the ability to is almost everybody's.
Right. Like, think of it this way. If Medivh is Wonder Woman, which I know is a really weird analogy, but if Medivh is Wonder Woman, then Medan's Superman. He can do all the stuff that Medivh can do, and more, plus do it better.
Yeah.
So that's Medan.
It's just crazy that somebody with this kind of power has never really been introduced into a storyline. And what better time to do it than when both worlds are essentially being torn apart?
See, I actually thought that they should have introduced him in Cataclysm, because the storyline was his storyline really revolves around the Twilight Council, because his last thing was Cho'Gall captured Garona and then chained her up in Encourage over the dead body of Cthulhu. And Medan went in.
Well, this would take place.
It took place right before Cataclysm, like right around Cataclysm. I don't remember if the world broke yet. I think it did.
All right, well, this is before everything. We've seen Cho'Gall in Warlords.
Right, but it's the alternate Cho'Gall. It's not our
Multiple
Cho'Gall. It's the alternate one.
Right, but decisions leading up to now, decisions leading up until Garrosh came are essentially the same.
Right. Anything that happened
up years prior.
Basically, anything that happened up to the point that the orcs drank the demon blood is still all going to happen. The only anomaly, for some weird fucked up reason, is Garrosh is never born. Garrosh should have been born by now. Or at least Grom's wife should have been pregnant with him, because he doesn't have, because, how do I explain it? When Grom drank the demon blood, he turned green, and it's kind of a theory, but not confirmed, that any orc who drank the green blood and turned green, all their offspring would turn green as well, which is why Thrall's a green orc. So, yeah. Garrosh would have had to have at least been conceived before Grom drank the demon blood. But in this alternate timeline, he's not. Grom's wife was dead, never bore a child. So something's changed in this history that shouldn't have been changed theoretically.
How did Grom's wife die?
It's never said. Like, in one of the Lords of War things, I think she died in battle. I can't remember off the top of my head. But she would have had to abort a child first. Or Garrosh is illegitimate. One of the two. It's possible that Garrosh is a bastard.
Huh.
But we don't see any evidence of Garrosh being born, and Grom doesn't know of the existence of a baby Garrosh, so it's safe to assume that he's either hidden, or he's a bastard, or the times have changed before Garrosh even showed up. Our Garrosh, that is.
Right.
Perhaps.
But is there any indication that, and I haven't really been paying the greatest attention between Grom and Garrosh, even though Garrosh is dead.
Spoiler, fuck.
Well, I mean, if you haven't already quested Grand, come on.
There is a huge spoiler. There is actually a huge spoiler in these patch notes that we may or may not talk about. I don't know.
I probably haven't seen it, but anyway, does Grom know that Garrosh is his son?
No, he does not. That was specifically kept from him.
That would be another turning point as far as to maybe he just doesn't have one or could have one.
Maybe
we really don't know either way, because if Garrosh would have came out and said, then he would know that his son grows up to essentially be the Garrett as we know now.
Right.
Slightly different because, events would have greatly changed. But there's no mention of him whatsoever.
Right.
Which, like you said, leads us to believe he was never born. If he was never born in the alternate universe, that would have happened before they drank the blood, which events have already been altered, so that it kind of contradicts itself.
So either the writing is really sloppy at Blizzard, or there's something else going on that we don't know about. Because there's a lot
or
of...
it's intentionally being kept from us.
That's true. There's a lot of wild cards in this story that we really haven't heard about yet. Medan being one, Wrathion being one. Like, we haven't heard from Wrathion this expansion. We don't know what he's up to. So there's a lot of wild cards. But assuming that Sargeras knows about our timeline, it would be in his best interest if he has control over somebody that could influence our armies, that he would go ahead and take it. So it's possible that Khadgar is Medivh, alternate Medivh. It's very possible. As far as the curse not working, because Khadgar had a curse put on him in Karazhan when they were battling Medivh that made him really old. Like in Outland, Khadgar is like an old sumbitch. He's bald and withered and all that shit. But in this one, he's fairly young. He's still got white hair. I mean, it's possible it's just a model update thing. I mean, throw on a shave, he looks alright. But it's also possible he might have found a way to reverse some of the curse, too. Because he looks like...
Right. He doesn't look that old.
He looks like the age he'd be naturally. He doesn't. Right. He doesn't look like... Because, I mean, Medivh opened that portal like 30 years ago. So, assuming Khadgar was probably in his early 20s, he'd be around 50 right now. So he looks like a 50-year-old. It's possible that he just found a way to reverse the curse, because he is a part of the Kirin Tor like leadership with Jaina and all that,
which is also not mentioned.
It's mentioned.
I feel like there's key aspects of the story that have not been thrown out, and maybe that's on purpose, or maybe it just got rushed. I'm hoping it's on purpose, and we're gonna get mind fucked.
I'm waiting for a good mind fuck in this game. We haven't had one yet. Not really. Garrosh's turn was kind of foreseen. There really hasn't been that what the fuck moment. Bolvar becoming the Lich King was like the biggest what the fuck moment we've had in this game. And that hasn't been significant yet. So...
Oh, God, dude. That's what we're talking about. So many wild cards, so many things from like past expansions that could possibly, at any given point, be brought back.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, and Trick also brought up the Karazhan revamp. That could just be a mechanic thing. It might not have anything to do with the story. Although, if they put Karazhan in current content, I wouldn't be too upset with it, honestly. Or
I saw an
alternate
entire
Karazhan
YouTube video. I saw an entire YouTube video explaining Khadgar and Karazhan and the revamp and what that means.
Really?
Honestly, right now, couldn't tell you exactly what it was, but I watched it at Andy's house a couple months ago. But they were telling this, like, I don't know if it was I'm assuming it's just a theory, but all of it made sense. And when he was explaining the lore that has to do with Karazhan and Khadgar and Medivh, it all seemed to come together pretty nicely to be a coincidence. I'm going to see if I can find this, and if I can find it, we'll post it in the show notes.
Yeah, because that's something I'd really like to see. It is an interesting prospect, though, of Khadgar actually being an alternate Medivh. Because we haven't seen anybody from
anybody else. Yeah. And I'm really surprised I haven't seen anybody else throw out this statement. Or any type of like real contradiction or plot twist. But
I know that Dave Kosak has been tweeted a couple times, but like he's kind of dodged it.
Yeah. When it's brought up and brought in front of your eyes, it definitely makes you think. Why all of a sudden is Khadgar leading the helm?
That is interesting. Like, why now? Like, why all of a sudden is Khadgar in the mix?
Why is he the go-to guy, even ahead of Thrall?
I can kind of understand that just from a metagame kind of perspective, not lore-based. Everybody's bitching about Thrall, myself included. I don't want any more Thrall than we already have. So
yeah, but I don't care about metagame. I care about the story.
Lore reasons, they might have explained it in War Crimes, which I haven't read, as to why Khadgar's leading this charge. Perhaps Khadgar was at the trial?
Aside from him being strong enough to do all of this.
Yeah, but so is Jaina.
You know, through the port. Yeah, but Jaina's
psycho batshit crazy.
Jaina is like alliance focused though.
She is.
Khadgar is neutral, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's never really been a part of either faction per se.
Well, he's loosely alliance biased, but he's kind of like Thrall was in Cataclysm. Like Thrall was loosely Horde alliance, but he was really, part of the Earthen Ring. So Khadgar's kind of the same thing. He's loosely alliance balanced, but for all intents and purposes, he's neutral.
Well, I mean, we spent a real long time on this email, but that is a very interesting perspective.
It is.
And if something unravels out of that, I would not be surprised, especially with all the information that we have there on that, and between Medivh and Medan and Khadgar. It would be pretty epic if that something like that ends up happening. I hope it's not. I honestly hope it's not Medivh possessed by Sargeras to pull the Burning Legion through. But if it is, that gives us another Burning Legion expansion.
Yeah. See, I've always envisioned, and I know I've said this before.
But you've got to fight Sargeras at some point in time.
Yeah, he's got to be like the last big baddie that we're ever going to face, because there's nobody bigger than Sargeras. Nobody. So, but I've always had this thought in the back of my mind that there has to be another Burning Legion mass invasion on Azeroth. And when that does happen, Medan's going to have to be the one to kind of lead the charge against it. Because he's really, he's the new Guardian of Tirisfal, so he's kind of the big power to counter it. I've always thought that, and this would be a good way to kind of segue into that, is, okay, so let's say for all intents and purposes, this hypothetical theory that we have is correct. And Khadgar is really Medivh, and let's say Khadgar is really Medivh, and it's all Sargeras' plot to overthrow the Iron Horde because they're the big block for the Burning Legion to invade Azeroth. Now, obviously, there's some sort of connections between our Azeroth and this alternate Draenor, or else we wouldn't be here. So perhaps, spitballing here, that Sargeras is using Medivh disguised as Khadgar to basically put us on a suicide mission to try to wipe out both us, because a lot of our forces are now dedicated to Draenor, and the Iron Horde, the two big blocks for the Burning Legion to try to get through, because they don't have any way to our Azeroth naturally, so they have to find some other way to get there. Well, with these portals we're making to fight the Iron Horde, they could filter the Burning Legion through these portals to get to our Azeroth. So, let's say he's successful. Let's say when we go and fight Grom, we kill him or subdue him or whatever the hell we're going to do, and a lot of the Iron Horde's forces, because there's got to be some sort of big, large-scale battle toward the end, or else it's just going to be us killing one dude and that's it. And that never works. That never works. Read the expanded universe for Star Wars. That never works. So, the Iron Horde is decimated to a point where they're no longer a threat. Our forces are weakened to the point where the Burning Legion can now come in, overtake both sides, and start filtering into Azeroth. Well, the only defenses we'll have left is everybody who stayed behind, some big players like Varian and Vol'jin, both of the leaders of the Horde and the Alliance, are still back there with a good chunk of both armies. Plus you've got Medan, the big baddie, the Guardian of Tirisfal, the most powerful being on Azeroth, basically. There's all that left there to combat the oncoming Legion. And that could be a good next expansion. Would be the Burning Legion finally invades Azeroth once again, and we got to fight them off on our home turf. And it solves a lot of problems that WoW has. For example, with this phasing technology we have, we could have old leveling zones now be endgame content because of the Burning Legion invasion. And all the zones can kind of get, I don't want to say a facelift, but maybe a little update so that more people will be out in the world. And then everybody can stop bitching about not flying because there's flying on Azeroth. We already have that. And it would add more awesome locations in an already developed world, and perhaps we can get something out of it. It makes sense lore-wise if this, of course, is correct. And it makes sense gameplay-wise because, you know, it wouldn't be, I wouldn't think it would be too hard to implement. On top of that, it fixes a lot of problems that players have, mainly flying and stuff like that. I don't know, it could work. There's a lot of ways they could go with that.
Yeah, there are definitely lots of routes that could be taken.
Yeah.
Essentially, anything could happen between now and the end of this expansion.
Yeah. But we could be, like, reading way too deep into this. It could just be because of the new character models and Khadgar shaved. I mean, it could be as simple as that, too. Perhaps you can explain it all by new models, Khadgar feeling that he needed a powerful artifact to combat the Iron Horde, so he asks Medan, who he has connections with, hey, can I borrow Atiesh for a little while? And on top of that, the transforming into a raven thing, well, it could have just been something he learned from Medivh.
He was glyphed.
Yeah, totally. Another theory, another conspiracy theory, what if, in fact, Khadgar isn't Medivh? What if he's Medan? That also explains a lot of stuff.
My personal favorite.
He already has Atiesh because we know Medan wields Atiesh already. Khadgar has access to a lot of powers that he may not normally have access to unless he was some sort of like uber wizard, which he is. But I mean, he has access to a lot of strong magic, and perhaps turning into a raven is a hereditary thing. It makes sense also. I don't know.
I would be intrigued. Well, I would be looking out for him to be using any magics outside of the arcane. Like, I'm going to keep an eye out for that.
If he starts dropping totems and putting beacons on people, then we know it's Medan.
Yeah.
Like, confirmed.
He starts healing people, you know, doing anything outside of the arcane.
Does he heal anybody in the opening or in the legendary quest line? I can't remember.
Honestly, now that it's being brought to me, I don't know. But I'm going to be looking out for anything like that. Anything that could show that he's, you know, Pally, Shaman, anything.
So now what?
Anything outside of the arcane. I mean, I haven't been in Mage long enough. I know what the arcane.
Right.
What the arcane is.
What you can and can't do with it.
Around it.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is now my next project. Because I've only seen the Horde side. There's possible that Khadgar does more shit on the Alliance side since he does have stronger ties to the Alliance than he does the Horde. So perhaps...
Also, let me stop you real quick. Just, you and I need to level 90 Alliance characters 200 to get the other side of the story.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was just saying. We should log onto our Alliance characters.
Well, fuck me.
Log onto our Alliance characters and just see what the storyline is on the Alliance side. Because on top of all this Khadgar shit, I've heard the storyline for Shadow Moon Valley is like the best in the game. I kind of want to see that. Also, I want to run around Black Temple because of reasons.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's got to be something we do soon.
Excellent email.
Yeah.
I like that you're making us think. And it's really not unlike Blizzard to go above and beyond and go that deep. Like, I've not known Blizzard, and I am a fanboy, but this isn't the fanboy in me saying that they don't make storylines that translucent or that apparent.
Well, they're not.
Where...
Chris Metzen also isn't really known for his subtlety either. I mean, most of the lore stuff we've got is pretty, I wouldn't say mind-blowing, but it's not like Sixth Sense kind of holy shit. We've never had anything like that. I mean, the Bolvar thing...
But it's also not so predictable that you're like, okay, well... Or unquestionable, I guess, is what I should say. Because you won't just be like, okay, well, Khadgar's here, whatever, let's not question it. Khadgar looks way younger, whatever, he's got Atiyesh, oh, no big deal. He turns into a raven, you know. I mean, there's gotta be something there.
There's plausible explanations. There's plausible explanations in all three ways we look at it.
Exactly.
It could be something as simple as he shaved and just asked Medan to borrow it. And it's possible he's Medivh, and it's also possible he's Medan. Fuck, it could be Thrall if we didn't see him together.
Right. And that's another part of that, the three different ways, is that, that just reminds me of the degrees of Kevin Bacon for some reason.
What?
Let's try to link Khadgar back to...
That's...
He doesn't explain why he's wielding Atiyesh or whatever. He doesn't explain any of this stuff, but he probably doesn't feel like he has to. He's fucking Khadgar. To our knowledge.
He is one of the most powerful mages in the world. So, I mean, he kind of gets away with some shit.
He is the most powerful mage that we currently have.
No. Jaina is actually more powerful than Khadgar.
Horde. That we have access to.
Yeah. Since they took Kael'thas from us.
He's not fucking batshit crazy.
That's true. The only, super mage we had... Watch, he goes insane from trying to divinate where fucking Gul'dan is all the time. Just goes insane.
Again, it could go any route, and I would really like to see it go the route that Trick is asked about through his email. So, that was a fantastic email. I love you.
We're turning into like a lore podcast now. When did this happen?
Hey, we're not really turning into a lore podcast as much as of a what if.
We're like the WoW conspiracy theory. We're just gonna call this tinfoil hats. That's gonna be the show name from now on. Yeah.
WoW version.
WoW Mythbusters.
But that was like a 40-minute email. I like those.
I love those. Hey, why stop now? Send us more lore shit. We'll try to fucking figure it out. WoWUncensoredShow@gmail.com. Because
if we don't figure it out, we'll give a fucking solid explanation of why it should happen.
We will give you the best bullshit story you've ever heard in your life.
And that's a promise.
Promise. And honestly,
we're so good at just bullshitting.
If we don't know, we'll just fucking ask Sayo. Sayo is like...
We don't know. We'll make it up and make you feel like we know what we're talking about.
We'll just make it up on the spot and then edit the WoW wiki as we're talking. Just to make it legit.
No, dude, it's totally on the WoW wiki.
Yeah, go look it up right now. Hang on. Save. Okay, now go look it up. It's right there.
Now check it out.
Well...
So, again, thanks, Trick, for the email, and you would enjoy more emails from anybody.
Everybody.
But there is a lot of other news that we can get to now.
Well, first, before we... Well, I don't know. We seem to do really well with doing the FMK at the end of the show. Should we just do that again?
Let's just do that.
I like that. We have a good one this week, by the way, and it is relevant to current events, somewhat, kind of. Anyway, it's relevant to last week's events.
Since my latency is so bad, I can't open web pages to actually look at the stuff, so I'm going to have to go on what you're saying. But
okay, so patch 6.1 jargon?
Yes.
Is that where... Okay, so for those who don't know...
Which we usually don't talk about, but there's a lot of exciting stuff that I'm pumped to talk about.
There is. We can actually talk about specific class shit, too. Why not? Well, at least 2 classes. I don't know. I can talk about rogues now. I have a rogue. I play him a lot. I can talk
about mages and mages.
Rogues and warriors, and maybe paladins somewhat. A little.
Because I got my other mage to level 98.5.
Oh, did you? I saw you've been leveling that. What are you going to level next? What are you going to level when we do our alliance?
I'm thinking about mage.
Oh, no way, really?
Yeah, dude, I got a Worgen mage. You got that Alliance druid and rogue.
I do. Well, see, this is where I'm conflicted, okay? I want to level the druid because it's something I don't have on Rexar and Misha. I don't have a druid over there. But I want to level that rogue so I can gank the X. So, kind of flipping back and forth there.
Well, neither of us are on Rexar Misha with our Alliance characters anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe we should do that. But enough about that. Let's talk about 6.1. There's a lot of shit here. A lot of shit. It might take me more time to find it than it will to actually talk about it. So we're going to give it a shot anyway. Because that's, you know, it's all for you guys. And if any
While
of you...
you're looking through that, go ahead, you son of a bitch.
What? I was just going to say, they probably already know all this shit because we're pulling it from...
Myself.
Hey, we can't play the sounders, but goddamn it, we can sing it. Or Val can sing it because I can't sing, and I'm sure you guys would like to be able to hear after I'm done. So,
the huge thing I remember from looking at it was the crafteds going up to 680.
Yeah, the new upgrades for crafteds, which is bringing it up to Foundry. So that's not like a huge surprise. I did not see like what the required like the crafting materials are going to be. So that kind of makes me freaked out because it already costs quite a bit.
I'm assuming it's going to be the same, just more with the more Savage Bloods, more of your primary material that you have a daily cooldown to make. That's what I would assume, considering it's only 10 more item level points. Like, why would you introduce a completely new material system for 10 item levels?
Yeah, I agree. I'm more worried about like the Savage Bloods.
I'm gonna stick with that until it says something else.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 85 Savage Blood.
Oh, fuck me. Fuck.
But no, the first and second one are 15. So maybe it's just 15 again, but the primary mat goes up. But then again, there's been a lot of time in between. Like, I've got both mine, 2 pieces of crafted gear, and they're max upgraded. So I've been making my daily every day for the last, I don't know, 2 weeks at least. So I'm just stockpiling these things.
Right.
So by the time that this is introduced, I can make it right away.
That'd be nice.
So I wonder how much of the material you're actually going to need. So the highest upgrade, it was like, what, 200? 250? 200.
For what? For the weapon?
For the 670 piece.
I think it varies because
well, for mine, it was 200 for the tailoring ones. So I would guess it seems to be going up in 50 increments.
The only thing I've upgraded so far is one of my rogue's daggers, and it was 150 True Steel and 15 Savage Blood.
Okay, the 15 Savage Blood seems to be across the board, because when I made my gloves, it was 100 cloth. To upgrade it, first time was 150. To upgrade it the last time, to upgrade it the last time was 200. And 15 Savage Bloods for both upgrades. So, theoretically, it would be 250.
Trick is saying it doubles the Savage Bloods. 250 primary mat and 30 Savage Blood.
That could be.
We could level up to 70s from 50 Shades of Iran. Oh, dude, I forgot about those guys. No, those guys will never get past 70. They probably won't ever get to 70.
They're there for, at the end of this expansion, whenever we get tired of playing.
Get super bored.
It's there.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. We can go through some of these bullet points. Garrison profession buildings now unlock profession missions.
Oh, I thought that was cool.
It's cool, but I'm kind of concerned that we're going to need multiple followers of the same profession now, because you're going to need one to work the building to get the extra resources, and then potentially another one to do these profession missions.
I think you don't have to send them on the profession missions, do you?
I don't know, because we don't have any yet. But I would think
that is something that I just figured maybe it's something you unlock, like you unlock mythic missions at a certain item level and certain boss kills, but you don't have to send that follower that you've attained the item level on to the mission.
Right, that's true. But there's a higher success chance. Well, these are like trait specific though. Like for the mythic missions, you just have to have people up to an item level. Anybody can get to that. But professions only certain followers have those.
I wouldn't think that they're going to make it to where you have to stack a profession, considering you can only put one in the building at a time. But then again, you can pull them out and send them on a mission.
Yeah, but if it's an 8-hour mission, don't you lose all your bonus from the building?
Yeah.
See, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, you would.
I guess it's just a trade-off, which Blizzard seems to be okay with doing, so... Would you rather have more of your primary crafting material, or would you rather send that guy on a mission to probably get more of the crafting material? I guess.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it probably will suck.
Yeah.
But it's a sweet idea.
I like it. I like options.
Although more garrison missions, they're not super interactive, so it's not going to really matter. I mean, you're going to unlock missions to send your followers out on, but you're not going to see what any of it is. You're just going to see, okay, click to add people to it and go.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So it's not going to matter unless you bring in some type of material, or like this what is it, engineering one can bring salvage back, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see what else. Music items. I don't even know what these are. Music items were added that go with the music list we previously posted, which I'm currently looking for. Oh, Garrison juke. They're putting a jukebox? Is this the dance studio? Are we finally getting the dance studio?
It's going to be one of the large plots.
Medivh comes back and we get the dance studio. It's Burning Crusade all over again. Let's see. The initial patch 6.1 build added a few songs with items. Legends of Azeroth, The Burning Legion, and Wrath of the Lich King. But the quests reveal other songs that likely will be available for your jukebox. That's kind of cool, I guess. As long as they have the theme from fucking Wintergrass, I'll be happy. That's my favorite music in the entire fucking game. I will fly to Wintergrass and just sit there AFK so I can listen to it. It's beautiful. Let's see. Profession upgrade items were added. New alchemy trinkets were added. Alchemy transmutes for sorceress materials and 50 alchemical catalyst. What? Oh, new transmutes. Okay. You can now transmute the sorceress shit you get. That's kind of cool. We've had that in every expansion, so that works. Here's a big nerf. Scavenger now increases garrison resources gained from a mission by 100%, down from 200%. Sadness.
Total sadness.
Dude, I live off those fucking scavengers.
I do too. I got the tavern and picked up 4 scavengers out of the tavern, leveled them all to 100 and got them to epic, just so I could go pull like 1,200 resource missions.
Yeah, it is so glorious. Now it's not going to be a thing anymore, and that's sad.
But, on the other hand, resource spending is going to basically be gold. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. Where's that at?
Some of the, what was it, like the trading posts and some of the things don't cost resources to build. It's going to cost gold now instead.
Oh, you mean to like upgrade?
Yeah.
Oh, that's alright. I like that. Especially when you're resource starved.
So they're taking away 100% of the resources you're going to get from scavenging, but they're taking away the actual resource cost, I believe, if I read that correctly. I mean, I can't see it right now because I can't pull it up, but
that's not too bad then. Let's see. A few PvP set bonuses were changed. Don't care. Ooh, Treasure Hunter. This one's got me excited actually. Is a new ability that increases the gold gained from a mission by 100%. Ah, yes. I love those fucking gold missions. I wish Scavenger gave you double gold, but if they add Treasure Hunter, I'm completely happy with that. But I'm wondering if, like, we're now going to have to get new followers to get Treasure Hunter, or if there's a chance that some of our followers can have Treasure Hunter.
Or if they're going to add a trait slot or ability slot.
No,
Instead of giving everybody 2 abilities and 3 traits, they're just gonna add, Treasure Hunter or something. Because that's really gonna blow if they're adding these new traits. And I've got every follower that you can possibly get in the game.
Yeah.
Aside from getting all of, well, up to now, I guess I'll say, because you can still get tavern followers, but up to current, I have as many followers as you could possibly get. And none of them are going to have these new traits on them, obviously, because I've already gotten them. Now, should I have just fucking waited so I had the chance to roll those traits?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to see what happens.
That's kind of shitty.
And the whole trait re-rolling or ability re-rolling scroll that you can get, I've only seen one the entire time I've been playing.
I've seen one of my main, my paladin's gotten 2, and my rogue just got his first mission with 1.
Yeah, I've only seen one on my mage, and that was it. And I've got a priest to 96, my rogue to 92, and my other mage to 98, and I've only gotten 1.
Yeah.
But I take that back. I've gotten 2, one on each mage.
It still seems kind of bullshitty, though. I mean, those are way rare.
They are super rare. And, by the way, a little side bit of trivia for you. The Hearthstone Pro trait, don't try to put that on any of your followers that have more traits than what they can actually have, because it will replace it. And this is something I did actually like the second week of launch, but I was pretty embarrassed, so I didn't say anything. But I did that.
I think I did that too.
I had a scavenger that was about to hit rare. He was 100. He was about to hit rare, and he was a scavenger. And he was a magic debuff, and he was awesome because I tried to space mine out. Like, I only pick up the scavengers of like one of each ability. That way I've got them all covered, so I can put 3 scavengers in a 3-person mission and just get a fuckload of resources from it. So I'm like, you know what? I'll put him with some of the lower dudes and give him this Hearthstone Pro XP buff or whatever. It re-rolled scavenger.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Because he was green, he wasn't rare, that's the only trait he had, and it re-rolled it. I thought it would add it on.
That sucks.
I thought it would add it on and take place of my second trait whenever I hit rare, but I guess I was thinking too much into it. I don't know. It doesn't say on the thing that it replaces a trait. It just, I don't know. I was fucking retarded, I guess, but...
Okay, so I'm looking at the new traits.
Lesson learned.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm looking at the new traits that they're adding. Birdwatcher, racial preference increases success chance when on a mission with an Arakoa. So it mixes with everything else. Blacksmithing now increases success chance on blacksmithing missions. So it looks like with the profession missions, and there's one for each profession, that if you have
so it
somebody,
looks like you can send followers on those,
right?
Other followers,
yeah.
But having the specific trait for that profession will grant you bonus.
It's probably just going to be like any other
percentage.
counter. Honestly, that's the way I see it.
Right.
Like you can send anybody on something with taunt or whatever. You can send anybody on that, but somebody with taunt's going to counter it, and you have a better chance. It's probably the same thing with professions.
Okay, that's better then.
Let's see, Mechano Aficionado increases chance when on a mission with a construct. Ogre, same thing. Scavenger, nerf the fuck. Tailoring is a thing. Treasure Hunter, we already talked about, and Wildling, which is on a mission with a beast. So nothing game-breaking that we haven't talked about already. Lots of achievement changes.
Basically now there's a follower for every type of other follower you could have to get a bonus with.
Yeah. Let's see. It looks like there's not a whole lot of... there's some class changes. Resolve, the tanking stat, No longer has stamina as a factor. That sucks. Because it used to increase your healing and absorption done to yourself based on stamina and damage taken. Now it's just based on damage taken. So stamina is even less of an important stat. That's always cool. Blood Boil nerf to fuck. Icy Talons buff to fuck. This is all for Death Knights, by the way. Fester Strike buffed. Scared Strike buffed. So DK is getting buffed. Yay. Druids. Rejuve nerfed. Thrash nerfed. Wild Mushroom changed. And Balance Mastery buffed. Okay. Let's see. Hunter. Enhanced Traff nerfed. Kill Command slightly buffed by like 4%. Okay. That's not huge. Beast Mastery buffed. So I think this kind of looks more like numbers tuning again. Which is fine, because there are some classes and specs that are just like horribly out of whack. So kind of good to see that. Here's one for you, Val. Blast Wave, Ice Nova, and Supernova all have 3-second cooldowns.
I saw this.
Is that good or bad? Is that a nerf?
The nerf.
It is? What was the cooldown, or did it not have one?
Right now, well, I'm assuming it means in between charges. Right now, they're able to hold 2 charges, so I can use Ice Nova, right, like, together. Like, I can Ice Nova,
right,
for big damage, for burst. Now they're going to put 3-second cooldown on it to where I can't do that. I mean, it's alright, because cooldown starts for it once you use it, so it's not like you use 2 of them and then the cooldown starts. You use one, the cooldown starts for that one, and then you use the other one 3 seconds later, and the cooldown starts for that one. So it is a nerf, but it's not really that big of a deal. Like, in place of it, I'm gonna have to do like Ice Nova, Frostbolt, Ice Nova. Like, it's not a huge deal.
Okay.
But I'm assuming it's a PvP nerf because it was wrecking in PvP. That's a lot of burst.
Well, yeah, because you could, for Ice Nova, you can get hit with the Nova, trinket it, and then be hit with it again. Right?
Well, the Nova doesn't really freeze you in place for long.
Or am I thinking something else?
Well,
Ice Nova is the AoE that roots, right? Oh, that's Frost Nova, okay. That's what I was thinking of.
Ice Nova is the one that essentially does the same thing, but it deals huge damage, and it roots you in place for like a half second. Like, it's very negligible as far as being rooted, but it interrupts any casting that you do, so it's like a complete lockdown. So if you're like trying to spam a heal, you just Ice Nova. They try to spam a heal. Right after that, you Ice Nova. Then you got your counter spell. Then you got your Deep Freeze. I mean, it's PvP. Anytime you ever get nerfed, it's 99% of the time it's because it's too strong in PvP.
Gotcha.
And I guarantee that's what that was.
Fire getting a buff. Unless this is one that's live.
Buff and a bit of a nerf.
Yeah. Incineration, 15% of crit. Up from 5%. So that's kind of a big deal. For fire, especially.
And keep buffing fire up because it's not scaling well.
And Pyro nerfed by 5%. Which is weird.
Yeah, the dot.
It says damage and dot.
Oh, okay. See, in theory, fire does really well, and it does do really well on like cleave targets because it's got some real good AoE with the dot spreading.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's really hard to stack crit because it's hard to stack any stat really.
Right.
Unless you're specifically going for just that raid drop, especially early on. Later on, I can see fire being very strong where you can specifically pick out bosses that have just crit gear, but like right now my best stats are haste and multi-strike, and I had my 3 crafted pieces that I had to keep re-rolling until I got those, and now I don't go after anything that doesn't have haste and multi-strike. And if there's nothing in that slot that has haste and multi-strike is king, and it doesn't matter what goes on the second slot.
Right, it's the same for sub-rogues. Sub-rogues is
with fire it's very, very crit based. Obviously, as it always has been. Doesn't matter how much multi-strike you have if you can't ever fucking crit.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Monk.
they made that stacking buff to where every time you don't crit, you get a stacking buff that increases your chance to crit by like 5% or whatever.
Like Rage from Smite. Right?
Right. And I don't know if that's incineration or not. Maybe that's the buff that instead of 5% per miss, it's 15%. That is the right one that I'm thinking. That's an incredible buff.
This one says
15% per miss.
no. You gain 15% more of the critical strike stat from all sources.
Okay, right. Monk, I guess.
Well, let's find out. Eminence. I don't know a whole lot about monks, so I know a little bit about Brewmaster, and that's it. Eminence now requires stance of the Spirited Crane when doing damage, so I think that's a fist-waving thing. Expel Harm, nerf by 4.6%. And,
Touch of Death.
no nerf to Touch of Death. Zen Sphere had a tooltip change, and, that's really it. Manatee now restores mana equal to 4 times your unbuffed spirit rather than 4% of your maximum mana. Seems like a buff. I don't know.
Nothing has to do with windwalking yet.
Yeah, that's it, really. Apparently, Windwalker's working as intended. Okay. Pally, Hand of Freedom can be used while stunned, so PvP, nobody cares. Sacred Duty now grants 30% more of the haste stat from all sources. That buff's live. These must be tooltip fixes. Because I know that buff's live. Because Toot was talking about it, because now his best in slot list has drastically changed. For prod.
The Ice Nova is not live unless it's the entire cooldown is reduced to 3 seconds. In which case, spammable Ice Novas is insane, so I doubt that is live.
Not all these might be live, but I know that Sacred Duty one is, because Toot was bitching about it.
Because now he my mage and was double spamming Ice Nova, so I know that's not live.
Okay. Power Word Shield, 2% buff for Priest. Yay, disc carry. Yay. And,
I thought they were nerfing it.
No. Power Word Shield now absorbs 2% more damage.
I heard that it was getting a 15% nerf.
Nope, it got buffed.
Okay.
So, yay, disc carry. Deadly Throw for rogues. That's it. It just needs a tooltip fix. No big deal. Shaman. Earthquake buffed by 17.6%. So, that Shaman AoE.
Rex will like that.
Rex will love that. Healing Stream Totem. Huge buff for Elemental and Enhance. And, no, a gigantic buff for everybody. Like, went from 25.7 as off-spec to 52.5% heals, or percent of spell power. And then for Resto,
nice.
From 48.2% to 102.4% of spell power. So,
holy shit.
That Healing Stream Totem, though, holy fuck.
So making our Resto Shaman try to play DPS maybe not the greatest idea now.
Yeah, I think he's stuck there. But, Hans is getting buffed. Storm Strike, 40% buff main hand and offhand. Wind Strike, 40% buff. Yeah, we need a Hans Shaman. Now recruiting Hans Shaman. We need one. Primal Elementalist no longer buffs Storm Elemental by 80%. Now also grants additional abilities and control to the Storm Elemental. That's kind of nice. Let's see. Fire Nova now ignites your Flame Shock spell on up to 6 nearby enemies, down from 7. So Fire Nova got slightly nerfed for Hands. And, yeah, it's it for...
Fire Nova AoE was pretty insane.
It's kind
People
of ridiculous.
Stacking.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
Stacking Enhanced Shamans for, like, multiple mob fights.
Well, they still can. It's just one less target. It's still going to be hella strong. So,
oh, yeah, I'm sure it is going to be really strong, but I just know that was the thing.
Let's see, Warlocks.
Stacking
Dark Soul
enhanced.
Knowledge is nerfed by 7.5%. And Demo Mastery, 2% buff. Additionally, ability damage increased by 16%, up from 12%. So, buff for Demo, which is my preferred Warlock spec, actually. if I ever decide to play a Warlock again. And Devastation got the same buff that Fire Mages did. Now grants 15% more of the crit stat from all sources. So Cal will be happy about that.
Isn't Cal playing Affliction right now?
Is he? I thought he was Destro. I honestly didn't pay attention, so maybe he is Affliction. Let's see, Warriors! Oh my god, a class I know. Deep Wounds buff! Hell yeah! 24% of attack power. Love that. Gladiator's Resolve. Now increases physical damage dealt by 5%, down from 20%. So long, Glad DPS. Which I never got to do. Sad. But that's okay. Let's see. Arms Mastery. Hella buff. Thunderclap. Hella buff for arms. Decent buff for Fearing Prot. So that's pretty good.
Isn't this live already?
Yes. These are live because Deep Wounds, Devastate, Revenge, and Shield Slam all got buffed. And I'm hitting like a fucking truck now as a tank. So, yeah, that's all live. And then a bunch of profession shit, like a ton of profession shit.
Yeah, I don't want to go through all that.
No. Let's see. Oh, here's something interesting. Did you hear about this veteran account shit?
No.
Okay, so basically what it is well, we have the starter edition where you get limited access to shit. Well, now, if you have been a previous player and you unsub, you can now log into your old characters and they have a veteran account status, which basically you have access to all your old characters, but they have a starter edition type of limitation. So you can essentially play for free now. But let's see. Here's the official blue post on it. We've always had this kind of weird limitation where if you've never played WoW, we let you play as much as you want, albeit in a very restricted starter edition account. However, if you have ever had a subscription but don't currently have one, we don't even let you in. And 6.1 will effectively revert lapsed accounts to a starter edition mode with all the same restrictions. The one difference being that your sub-level 20 characters will be able to join a guild if any of your other characters are still in that guild. That's kind of cool.
So what's the limitation?
I'm clicking on that.
You can't go past level 20 content?
So, are you not allowed to like log into your old characters? Let's see. When you sign up for a trial account, you may not do any of the following. Create, join, or find guilds, or create calendar invitations. Invite players into a party, although you can be invited to another player's party and join it. Whisper someone who has not added you to their friends list. Trade either via the auction house, mailbox, or player to player. Use in-game chat channels other than say, whisper, party, etc. So no global channels, basically. Exceed the level cap of 20, although you can continue to play at that level. Send and receive any mail other than from game masters. Have more than 10 gold. Level higher than 100 in professions. Use value-added services, character transfers, faction changes. You can't yell in-game. You can't use voice chat or real ID. Participate in pet battles. Disable experience games. And you can't buy anything from the in-game store.
Which means a ton of that is going to be taken away because there's no way if they're going to allow you access to your higher level characters, you're going to have more than 10 gold on there. You're going to have mail. You're going to be in a guild. Like you've got a BattleNet. I mean, there's a lot of this is going to be reverted anyway. So I guess we'll just have to see what they actually allow.
Yeah, because if they don't allow you to log onto your old characters, that kind of sucks. But I mean, you can still play, and you can still join the same guild with a new character, so, I mean, I guess you got that going for you. Which is...
It's nice.
It is nice. New colorblind options, which are actually kind of cool. I'm not colorblind, so I don't know. I don't relate to that. Well, there's more shit. I gotta find it, though. It's all in, like, 3 different posts. The veteran gift, which everybody else is bitching about, whatever.
Yeah, I would have liked to have gotten one, but I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I started a month after, or 2 months after.
Well, you also have to be subscribed the whole time. Like, you can't take a break.
And I didn't get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my subs lapsed since then because, money.
Right.
But I've never been down, in the last 10 years, I've never been down more than a total of 6 months, I guarantee.
Yeah, I didn't start playing until Burning Crusade, so.
And I didn't qualify. I mean, like I said, I get it. It still fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It's like kind of a slap in the face for people who have been playing for 10 years, but since I don't play every day of my life and I couldn't stay subbed for the entire 10 years, that I miss out. But
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, congrats to the people who got it.
Yeah.
Or loss of internet. Yeah, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no shit.
I missed out on a bunch of that shit, too. The stuff that you had to log in the game or log into any of the games, like to get the free Hearthstone wing or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you
and
did.
like the mounts, the choppers and stuff like that. I missed out on all that because I didn't have internet.
Yeah, it sucks.
I had like a 3-month period where I didn't have internet, so I got fucked out of it. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. I mean,
That's true.
we'll not dwell.
Mhm.
We'll not dwell.
Heirloom tabs getting added. There's a lot of new shit for heirlooms. So that's kind of cool. Which will free up a lot of fucking bank space for me. That'd be so nice. Oh my god.
Yeah, ditto. Because I have all my heirlooms sitting on one guy.
Yeah, me too. The garrison UI is now going to tell you how long the garrison or the mission's going to be available before it goes away. So that's really nice for like when you get raid missions and shit.
Well, that's like the add-on that we already are all using.
Well, that's
There's Mission Manager.
Which is so good. Oh my god.
And what was the other one? Because I'm recommending them right now to anybody that doesn't use them. Garrison Mission Manager, and there's another one.
I think that's the only one I use for garrisons.
We got 2 of them. I can't fucking think of them.
Huh. Well, when you
Somebody
think of it.
in Twitch chat will tell me because everybody in my guild uses the same 2 add-ons for that.
Yeah.
So I'm counting on you, lol. And Master Plan.
Oh yeah, Master Plan. Yeah, that is a very good add-on.
I can always count on you, motherfuckers, to help me out.
That's right. Death
And I mean
Recap.
that in the best possible way.
Death Recap UI is being added. So that's it. It gives you basically, you know how on Smite when you die you can get like a fairly detailed summary of how you died.
What killed you, Tower?
Fucking minion damage. It wasn't that fucking Artemis, that's for sure. Bitch.
Fucking, I got body blocked, probably.
They keep dodging my moves! Twitter UI.
I'm getting countered!
The fucking Aegis!
That's actually really cool. Or like, what the fuck did you die to? And they got to go through their combat log and look through all that bullshit. Now you fucking know exactly what killed you.
You thank God, because that's annoying. Especially with the...
Well, I mean, recount and everything else. They're making it to where a lot of these add-ons that you have, you don't really need them anymore, which is cool because it's getting built into the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of it's going to still be preference.
Oh, see, Twitter integration, nobody cares. I have a feeling I'm going to unfollow a lot of people on Twitter with that.
Yeah, it's going to get real fucking annoying.
Yeah. Let's see. Here's a bunch of shit. Blah, blah, blah. Pepe, I don't care.
What?
Dude, I didn't even know what Pepe was. Legit.
I didn't either until I read people going insane about it, like it's the new Bankrick's wife.
Yeah, like Lowell told me what it was.
Constant. Yeah, I walked outside. It's something that's literally been in my garrison like ever that I never knew about, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then he just sits on your head. I'm like, this is utterly worthless.
I still haven't done it. I still haven't fucked with Pepe. Not at all. Let's see. Draenor now has Lore Master. That's pretty cool. Dark Moon Fair Race. Okay, so here's a big... Do we want to do the spoiler thing? There's a huge spoiler that we could talk about potentially if you want to be spoiled. It's concerning the Legendary Quest line. And for those that don't want to hear it in the chat or whatever, if we do decide to talk about it, I'll put up a warning on Twitch, so you'll know to mute. Should we talk about this? It is relevant to our interests from early in the show, possibly, maybe.
Okay.
All right.
Oh man, I want to, but do I want to be surprised by this?
I don't know. It's up to you. I already spoiled myself because I don't give a fuck. But I'll leave it up to you. Let me know.
Now I'm intrigued, so I don't know about it, so
all right, give me a second.
I don't know, man. The show's almost over. We could probably
This could be the last thing we talk about. You give me the word.
I say not.
No?
I say no.
Well, just for future reference, if we ever have a spoilers, we now have a spoilers tag on the Twitch.
Yeah.
Boom.
I'm not against talking about spoilers, but I kind of like. I don't know if I want to know yet. Is why I don't want to talk about it. Like I don't care about the rest of you fuckers. Like I don't know if I don't want to know yet. Like I'm just kidding. I care about all of you, but I don't know if I want to spoil it for myself right now. And if I don't want to spoil it for myself, then I know that half of the other people listening to the show maybe don't want it spoiled for them either.
Well, I can put up a spoilers tag. So
until I can decide. But that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I want to know yet.
Well, okay. How about we just say no?
You better not say that again, you fucking cocksucker.
We'll just.
I don't know. Maybe next week.
Okay. We'll say for now.
I don't know.
But just in case, I have spoilers right there, big and giant and huge on the screen. So okay. So.
Oh man, I mean, I so want to know what it is, but I don't want to know what it is. I just don't know.
It's right there.
I'm getting countered. But we'll save it for next week.
Okay, well, okay.
Maybe I'll spoil myself, and by that time, everybody will already know, and then we can talk about it anyway.
Okay, that's really it, though. That I really care about for this. New Blood Elf models is coming. New anti-aliasing options.
You see that? Josh is threatening to fucking stab us right there.
What?
Josh is gonna stab us if we spoil it. It's a good thing I said no. God damn.
Oh, fuck, Josh.
I don't get fucking knifed.
Don't knife Val. Nobody will be able to carry us through Smite anymore. We don't have any platinum players now.
I'm working on it, man.
Okay.
I want the ability to talk to people, so I have to have platinum.
Well, okay, so that's basically it for 6.1. If there's something we missed, guys, email us. We'll talk about them next week. WoWuncensoredshow@gmail.com. So let's, shall we end this bitch?
Let's end this bitch.
Okay.
Okay, here's a shot out of a cannon. Oprah, Barbara Walters, your wife. You gotta fuck one, marry one, kill one. Go!
Today's FMK is provided to us once again by Haster. Thank you, Haster, for posting in the FMK 2.0 thread. Today's FMK is relevant to last week's interest. Well, 2 out of 3 anyway. Are you ready, sir?
I was born ready.
All right. This is FMK. What do you call it? Hang on. Did you give it a title? I need to. Okay, FMK Quarterback Edition. Popping up for you guys in the chat room right now. We have Peyton Manning, Tim Tebow, and Tony Romo. Fuck one, marry one, kill one.
Kill Tim Tebow.
You know, I was going to say that, but looking at the picture of these three, Tim Tebow is the best looking one.
He's not a bad looking dude. Honestly.
I mean, I'd
Peyton
fuck
Manning's
I'd
days
fuck
are
him.
numbered.
Peyton Manning is getting up there in years, and this picture, he looks like an absolute fucking creeper. Oh my god.
I think he could be done. Like,
this might be his last year. It could be.
Not be surprised if he retired.
Now we know Tony Romo's got game outside of football. I mean, he's nailed some pretty hot broads.
That's true. And he's from my state and not far from my town.
Is he from Illinois, really?
He went to EIU up here in Charleston.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a half hour north of me.
No shit. I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah, so he's local. I mean, it kind of sucks that he went to fucking Dallas, but...
But Tony Romo, for all the shit he gets and for the fucking team he's on, he's actually a fucking legit quarterback. Call him Choco if you want to, but guy's got game.
I'll like 100% disagree with you there, but
just his numbers never lie. His numbers are like Hall of Fame numbers. He's got. Yeah, I think this season he had a better QBR than Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and well, maybe not Aaron Rodgers, but he was like up there. Like, damn.
Yeah.
And he didn't choke as bad this year.
I think a lot of it has to do with their attitudes too. Like, I am a Bears fan, so Pack is like my number one nemesis. But right now, Aaron Rodgers is probably the best quarterback out there as far as attitude and performance-wise. Oh yeah, he's got a great attitude, and that's one of the reasons why I like him so much. He's hard to hate. Like
he really is.
I'm not supposed to like the Packers, and I don't like the Packers, but Aaron Rodgers makes it hard for me to hate. He's a good guy.
I don't like the Packers, and I hate them during the regular season, but come playoff time, especially when the Bears aren't in the playoffs, I'll root for the Pack most of the time. I'll root for the Packers. I will. Yeah. I was rooting for the Packers yesterday, and they fucked it up.
The only team I will not root for is Detroit.
I will not root for the Patriots, ever. I fucking hate the Patriots.
I'll kill Trick, Peyton, Toot Manning. I like it.
He looks like a fucking creeper in this pic. I know you can't see it, but...
I can't, but I can imagine, because Peyton Manning isn't a good-looking guy
No,
anyway.
He's really not.
So out of those three, if we're basing it on looks alone...
Killing Peyton.
Which is what we generally do, is
True.
would kill Peyton.
Kill Peyton Manning.
Plus, his days are numbered. He's the oldest out of all of them, right? I'm sure he is.
Oh, by far. Because Tim Tebow's like 25. Tony Romo's probably our age. He's not.
Yeah, probably.
Well, Tony Romo's probably younger than me, but probably the same age as you. I think he's pushing 30.
Yeah. It is so insane to kind of change subject. It's so insane to see all these football players like joining up and stuff that are like 6 years younger than me and fucking huge.
Oh, I know.
Like, I'm 5'8", like 155, 160, and I know we got all these 21-year-old dudes playing football that I'm like, oh, that could totally be me. And then they're like, this dude is 6'3", 280 pounds. I'm like, that's like 6 of me.
Dude, Peyton Manning's only 4 years older than I am.
Oh, shit, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 6'1". I'm tall enough to be a quarterback. I'm like 500 pounds overweight to be a quarterback, but I'm tall enough. I can see over the line. But, you know, if we're killing Peyton Manning, which seems like the consensus, Tim Tebow has a lot of good values. I would marry Tim Tebow.
Yeah, I think he would annoy me.
That's true. He is a little
with
too...
his values. Aren't you an atheist?
I am.
Then why in the fuck would you marry Tim Tebow?
For the children. Wait, he is Christian. Maybe that would be a bad idea.
That's what I'm saying. If you're an atheist, he's a Christian. That will never work.
But Tony Romo's like a playa.
Dude. That's fine.
You know, Tony Romo can cheat on me. That's fine. As long as there's no prenup. If there's no prenup, Tony Romo can do whatever the fuck he wants. I don't care. It's fine.
If Tony Romo cheats on you, it's because it's your fault.
Of course. Naturally. Naturally. And Tim Tebow would make me like want me to wake up early on Sunday morning and go to fucking church where I'd burn. So
I would marry Romo because at least right now he has a job.
True. And it's not an analyst on fucking ESPN. So that's pretty good. So I guess we're fucking Tim Tebow. But you know, I kinda want to kill Tim Tebow now.
That's what I said originally. I think I would muster up the energy to just go ahead and fuck Peyton, but
well, I mean,
you wanted Tim Tebow because he's young. I mean, you pulled a toot on me.
He is a good-looking man. I can't deny that. Yeah, okay, killing Tim Tebow. I couldn't deal with the hypo-Christianity. Kill him.
Kill Tebow.
Fucking
Then I'd
Peyton
marry
Manning.
because he's a bonehead and you could convince him to do anything.
That's true. And he does have that sponsorship deal with Papa John's, so I could get free pizza, at least for a while. So that works.
Yep.
I guess we're married Tony Romo then.
Let's do it. I'm down. I'm committed.
All right. Well, that would end this. Oh, what? Bubba. Hi, Bubba. Bubba's laying there with his back herpes, but he did type in TeamSpeak, Tony Romo loves tight ends.
Which
Okay.
means that D would be out because his end is not tight anymore.
No, it's not. No, it is not. Like a hot dog down a hallway.
Well, my latency's going down, so that's good. So that means I can play some video games after this.
Yay! Well, so we can do that. Let's end this bitch.
Also,
Yeah.
real quick, we are 1 of 7 Mythic.
Yay!
We still
We didn't
have
get
not had a chance to go back into Mythic since we've killed Khadgar, which is a bummer because people are on vacation and we had some people bounce servers and stuff like that. So we are recruiting, mostly ranged, some melee, basically recruiting everything, and we could put you on the heroic team. And if you work out for us, you'd be on the Mythic team.
Yeah.
So if interested, get with us.
So basically how it works, I'm just going to give a quick rundown. Everybody who joins a guild that is level 100 and has even a remotely decent gear set, like 615, 620, doesn't require a lot. You're guaranteed basically a slot in the normal group to gear up. Then those people who do well in normal, you can run heroic because we're to the point now in heroic where we can kind of carry a few people. So,
Right.
and then if you do well in the heroic and you get geared enough, then you got a shot at the mythic team because apparently our mythic team is not set in stone. So
It is not.
it's never.
But also for recruiting, we do our normal raids on Sunday nights, which it's kind of like it's whoever wants to come can basically go. If you already outgear it ridiculously, you're welcome to join and come and do like the first couple bosses on heroic with us. If you do well, you can stay for longer. You don't have to come to the Sunday raid, but that's the best way to try out for the mythic team is to come to normal, even though it's piss easy. That way we can see at least if you can fuck with mechanics and what kind of DPS you can pull out. So
that's a fact.
just get with us. It's a fun time.
Yeah, the normal raid's like super casual, like we give no fucks. Like this last week, half the people that were there were either new or don't raid like normally, and we still basically one-shot about everything, so. We even one-shot Imperator. It's stupid easy for us, so. If you want to have a good time, clear normal. If you want to tank normal so I can bring my rogue, that'd be great too. Come join the normal raid and Rex Armisha, US. Nailed it. Yeah. But we're going to get out of here so we can play some video games. You can follow us on Twitter or not. We don't really fucking care. At WoW Uncensored. And make sure you follow the station at Rivalcast Media. Twitch.tv/Rivalcast Media if you want to be notified when all the shows go live since we're all on Twitch now. Hit that follow button down there because we'll love you for that. If you want to follow us individually on Twitter, I'm at Colemsci. Val's at ValentineKBS. And Bubba, that bitch with back herpes, is at Bubba Caleb Rogue. And if you want to email us, I know we said it a couple times, but whatever. WoWUncensoredShow@gmail.com. Yeah. We're going to get out of here. Let's play some fucking Smite. I want to play some Smite.
Platinum, baby.
Yeah, let's hit that platinum, bitch. Anyway, we're out of here. Have a good daytime.
Later.
See ya.
Motherfucker, see ya!